people are familiar with you, what you do in the local Columbia market, but just kind of talk about where your interest came as far as sports media is concerned, where you got your start, and kind of just what's led you to where you currently are now.
Yeah, I mean, I was born in a football household. I mean, the very first day I came out of the hospital, my dad brought me to practice because my dad's been coaching high school football since the day I was born. He put me on a little table with a car seat, and I think the water girls watched out for me. So, I think I was all right. I don't think a football hit me that day, but maybe one did. Maybe that explains why I am the way I am. But just always loved being around sports. I mean, if I wasn't doing what I'm doing now, I'd probably be coaching college football at a Division II level and working my way up. But high school, I wanted to get into being around sports in some capacity. And one of my college teammates, he suffered a C5 injury to his spinal cord, his vertebrae. And the crazy thing about that was the year prior, his triplet brother fractured the same C5 injury. And I was on the field for both of those. And I remember doing the story on the one happening the second time because he had to go down to the Shepherd Center down in Atlanta. And it got me wanting to do sports writing, and I got into that, and my story got shared and published in a couple different local newspapers in Massachusetts, and feedback came in. I'm like, you know what, maybe this is something I want to do. So I thought I was going to do a writing, but then a TV opportunity came during college, and we created a TV show from scratch, and we had some great guests on. John Butchergrass came on, Mark Navarro came on. A lot of the students fit very similar to what you're doing with these phone calls. And first opportunity came at ESPN Boston covering high school sports. And then I went to little old Greenville, Mississippi, which I tell people, nicest people in the world, but there's only 2 roads and 2 bars, not much else to do. And then Corey Miller got me over here through a golf tournament that we met over in Greenville, Mississippi. And the rest is history. I've been here since 2016, just celebrated 4 years on Monday. So it's amazing how fast everything's gone, but very fortunate to be working in South Carolina because I think it's so underrated because everyone just thinks, okay, college sports, it's not like the pros. It's not, but you know what? There's something very special. Not just USC, Clemson, I mean, even SC State and some of these smaller schools. There's just something special about covering sports in South Carolina.
For sure, Mike. Talk about where your inspiration comes from, because I want to go back to a conversation I know you probably recall we had a little bit ago, a couple months ago now at this point, I would say. You talked to me, and again, you can tell the full story, but you just kind of talked about your inspiration. You take pictures. I guess you have like sportscasters, guys you look up to as far as like that are guys that are established guys in sports media. And I remember us talking about that briefly. Just sort of tell more about that, I guess, and just tell the people, I guess, where your inspiration comes from to do what you do.
Yeah, I'd flip it around if I had it still up right now. I have my makeshift backdrop right now, as I told you. For those that don't know, and a lot of people wouldn't know because why would they? I'm moving down to a different apartment and getting out of here actually tomorrow, moving everything out. So that's why there's nothing on the walls. But I remember I told you, one of my mentors who I ran into college at Assumption College in Worcester, Massachusetts. I met him when Gino Oriema was speaking at our school because Gino's son, Michael, was a 6th man at Assumption. He came off the bench. He transferred into Assumption, and Gino would always be there. But Gino did a speaking engagement at Assumption, and we went and we interviewed him. And this guy comes over. This old guy. He's like, "What are you guys doing? Like, who are you guys with? What high school did you go to?" And come to find out, this guy not only went to Assumption, but went to my high school. And I just grew a great relationship with him. His name's John DePietro, and this guy was did radio, did sales, he did it all. And being able to learn from a guy like that, he told me, just the little things that we should all do anyway, but we just sometimes don't. Talking about doing the small things like writing a handwritten thank you card. Well, he told me to take it one step further. A lot of these people in TV or, just people in radio as well, and just media personalities, they're used to getting their photos taken with people. He said, take a photo with them, but get their business card, write them a handwritten thank you card, send 2 pictures, tell them to keep one, and have them sign one and send one back, and start just keeping them. So I started a wall, and what his whole point was supposed to be is, as you get further in this profession, you're going to appreciate the journey so much more. You can look back, and I look back, I mean, just seeing some of the first photos I've had, one of them was being Chris Berman, being able to meet Chris Berman at an event, and Chris giving me advice, just as simple as just have fun, be yourself. There's no blueprint. And I know what you're doing. There's no blueprint for what you've been doing. I know we talk about this all the time. I might not necessarily agree with everything you say or do, but at the same time too, I know you've worked your tail off. And, to be able to create what you have, there was no blueprint for that. And I think a lot of people, not just sports media, just people in life can take something away from that is, sometimes there's not going to be a blueprint. I mean, look what's going on in the world right now. There's no blueprint of how to handle this kind of stuff. So, having advice like that has definitely made me appreciate things, but I've always told them, I told Chris Berman this, I told John Butchergrass, I told some of these people that I've met, I said, I want to make that 5 minutes, 10 minutes you gave me worth your while sometime down the line. And, I have email exchange with Butchergrass sometimes. And, anytime something happens, he's just so happy to hear it. And I just want to be able to continue to do that. So just little things like that. But it was on my wall when I came in. And it's just like a constant reminder of, hey, you know what? You made a promise to some people. Don't let them down.